Good morning, Jett. I don't even think I've cleared my throat yet. I'm up with the birds. Troy and Apollo are still sleeping, so hopefully they don't come in here and bother us. So I heard that you got your kit yesterday, or your two kits yesterday. So here's the deal. In the one kit, you got all of the card games. Okay, so you got what you're playing now, and then all of the card games to come. So once I get to see you face to face again, um, it'll be great because you can use my card games when you come to school, but then at home you can use your card games to play, and we'll learn even more games as we go along. Now, that second kit, um, I know you got a whiteboard on one side and a chalkboard on the other side. For right now, if you want to use the whiteboard side, if you have a whiteboard marker, go for it. The chalkboard side I will show you about later. You also got a Tubi phone, and we will talk about that later. You got these little waxy type crayons and this little red sheet and a cloth. We will discuss that later. We will use that when we have sight words. But the thing that I was really excited about is you should have got the little spelling beads for dictation and I think you even got a little fancy little tray that's got a lid on it. But you pour those out and then you can draw in those. So for right now, you can use that while you're at home. So, but the rest of the stuff, kind of keep that handy. And then as we move along, I will show you what you can do with it. Okay? All right. So let's see here. First thing, I want to do a little quick review. Okay. So I will give you half of the popper or leaker pair, and I might give you the loud one or I might give you the quiet one, and you give me the other side of it. Okay. All right, here we go. B. You should have said P. All right. What about V? You should have said F. Okay. What about T? You should have said D. What about S? You should have said Z. All right. What about Ch? Yep, you should have said J. What about K? You should have said G. Oh, I remember this one. Okay. If I say zh, what's the quiet leaker? You should have said shh. And last one. If I say th, what's the quiet leaker? Oh, I lied. There's one more. Okay, so this one. This is the one that technically has 3. All right. I'm going to get you started. You tell me the other 2. The first one's pretty easy because if you remember, they're very close. They're neighbors. The first 2 are neighbors in the alphabet. So if I say then you should say like N, the letter N. And then remember that weird funky one that's kind of really hard to say? The when you put NG together and then you smash in either an A, O, I, or U in front of it. NG. Okay, perfect. But that one has pairs, or that one has a triplet. There's 3 of them. M, N, and NG. And NG has to combine with a vowel for it to be able to really do anything, because you can't just go around saying it doesn't work. Well, I guess you could try, but I don't think it works. Okay. So, I think we're ready. So let's go back to our story. All right. So, and the way that this program works is everything is part of this original story. So as we go along, I'll keep telling you this story, and that kind of helps you remember all of the things that I've taught you all along. Okay. So it started out, and we went to this birthday party, and all the people at the birthday party were bringing along balloons. And the party got over and needed to clean things up, and there were different types of people in the room, and some of those people, like I'm assuming you are, were poppers. They wanted to jump on the balloons and explode them. And other people in the room, like me, were the leakers. So, they don't like those big loud booms, and they were taking a pair of scissors and cutting the knot and then trying to let the sound leak out of the balloons really slowly. All right. So, but before the party got cleaned up, there were these people that technically weren't invited to the party that showed up anyways. And the first group of people that came to the party that weren't really invited, we met those people last time. And you remember, there were 3 guests that showed up, and they're the people that kind of always like to know what's going on in a party they're not invited to. They were mhm, the nosy neighbors. All right. And that was the mm, mm, and okay. And those nosy neighbors, all those sounds all require your nose, your nasal area to make those sounds. Because remember, we talked about if we plug our nose, you can't really say, you can, but the sound stays in your mouth. You can't get it out so other people can hear it. Okay, so those are our nosy neighbors. They showed up at our party. Now, after the nosy neighbors came the Huffy neighbors. All right. Now, I don't know if you know what Huffy means. I asked you about that last time, but I'm going to tell you. When I was little, or maybe not so little, but when I was little, I always got in trouble for being huffy. Yeah, sweet little old me got in trouble for being huffy. My mom would always say, "Don't be huffy with me." So basically, if you are huffy, and there might be somebody at your house that's huffy too, I don't know. But if you're huffy, you're the kid that when your mom says, "Jett, you cannot have ice cream for breakfast," you go, okay, that's a huff. That noise you make, like in the Three Little Pigs, when the big bad wolf goes around and he huffs and he puffs, that noise is a huff. All right. So the huffy neighbors, the reason why they are huffy is because they take that huff noise to make those sounds. Now, just by what I just did, just if you try yourself to go to make the huff, you'll figure out what the first huffy neighbor is. Because if you listen close, you'll hear the sound just by huffing. Okay. Did you figure out the first one? Huff again. Okay. If you said the first nosy neighbor is like H, you're right. The first nosy neighbor is because it makes the huff sound. Now, I want you to think about, there's another letter in the alphabet, and it kind of sounds like, but it's not, but it's another letter that it sounds exactly like that. It's just different beginning sound. I'm gonna let you see if you can figure it out. Okay. I will warn you, it's towards the end of the alphabet. Okay. If you said like W, you are right. Okay. So that's our first 2 huffy neighbors. And when they come to the party, all they like to do is huff and sigh and pout. They're never in a good mood. They're always huffy about something. They're always annoyed about something. Now, the huffy neighbors remind me a little bit of the nosy neighbors, because remember how the nosy neighbors went M and then N and then NG? So they took one of the neighbors and then combine it with something else. Well, the huffy neighbors are really handy, because if you take W and H and you combine them, Don't you get a sound for WH? Haven't we discussed that one? I believe we have. Okay, so if we put W and H together, we're going to get a digraph. We're going to get another one of those two letters that come together to make one sound. And if you remember correctly, so that we can tell the difference between W and WH, they make a slightly different, well, people these days really don't make the sounds differently unless you lived in like England. But for us to be able to tell the difference, we're going to make the sounds a little differently. So when we say W, we say W. But when we say WH, do you remember how we pronounce that one? We kind of make that H sound like it's in front. Hoa. And we do that just so that when I'm saying them to you on camera, or when I'm when I'm teaching a lesson, I say them differently. That way you kind of know, oh wait, she wants a W there, or oh wait, she wants a WH there. So that's why we do that. Okay. Now, I also want to talk to you really quickly about remember how you told me at one point that it was really hard for you to know which one is M and which one is W, okay? And we worked on, and you have gotten a lot better with that, but we can still work on that some more. And remember how we talked about that the W is kind of like the cow with the udders, the W, the bumps on it kind of hang down. Okay, so here's another thing that I want you to think about M and W. And you can stop the video if you want to and kind of play around with your mouth a little bit. Okay, the first thing that I want you to think about is that when you make a W, okay, the W, and I'm going to do it over here so it looks right to you on the screen. Okay, so when you make a W, the W starts up high, okay, and then it, let me move my finger so I'm a little, okay, there I'm on camera. It starts up high and it goes down and down, okay? So there's two bumps, and those bumps, and you can do this with me, those bumps are able to kind of hold water. So since a W won't be backwards on camera, I'm gonna make a W for you real quick, okay? So that W has those two bumps, and those two bumps can hold water, okay? You remember that. All right, now I want you to think about that when you make the W sound with your mouth is actually doing what the letter is. So if you say W, notice how your mouth grows kind of tall like the W does. W. Okay. Notice how your mouth is kind of making these tall spots. W. Okay. Now, I want you to think about here the difference when your mouth says mm. Okay. Now, I want you to even look at my mouth on camera. Mm. Okay. Now, don't do this at home. Okay. Don't do this at home. But you know if I can do it. Oh, this will get you in trouble at home. I don't think the pen is right. Oh yeah, got a little bit. Okay. Okay, do you see how on both sides of my mouth, my mouth comes down? This side did not do a very good job. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, now if you imagine that right here, if somebody was watching this, they'd be like, what on earth is wrong? I needed some lipstick, is what I needed. But if you imagine that right here, that's where your M is going to come down. So you're going to have a bump over here, and you're going to have a bump over here. All right. So, okay. But I want you to imagine, now I got to get rid of my pen marks. I really should have just brought in some lipstick. Mom has some lipstick running around home. She can do this. See, I'm sure you would enjoy it. But the reason why I do that crazy goofy stuff, is because I want you to think about that when you're drawing those letters, think about your mouth, because your mouth is giving you cues to how those letters should be drawn. That W, whoa, those lines are going up high, and that you've got those bumps, and then the lines are dropping low. Okay, so just kind of a review on those, because I know that we are still talking about M and W. Okay, now eventually those fluency sheets, you should have some fluency sheets that have M and W's on it. I'm really excited for you to go through there, and like Mom might tell you, okay, Jett, circle all the W's, or okay, Jett, circle all the M's. Okay. If you don't see one, that Mom likes, that's easy to search for M's and W's, she can make you your own. But I think that would really be really good to search for those, or to do a line and loop for those. All right. So let's see. Was there anything else? I got an itch on my back. Was there anything else that I wanted to tell you about that? Nope, I don't think so. Okay. So let's go ahead to sound stretches, okay? I'll do them with you. As long as Apollo doesn't want to be involved in this. Okay. High. Oh, and I learned something new about the sound stretches that I'll show you here in a second. High. H, I. And then for these, I haven't done this before, but I saw it the other day, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. So we're going to go H, I, high, like we put the sound back together. Okay? Chip. Ch, I, p, chip. Dirty. D, t, E. Dirty. Hunt. H, t, hunt. Oh no, he's found me. Hug. H, g, hug. Okay, now I'm going to sit down for the next couple, and maybe he will, you keep doing them, but maybe he will stop, okay? Next one. Oh, geez. Hang on. Let me get him a treat. I will throw it in the bed with Troy, and I'll be back. Okay, that probably goes against all dog training rules, because I'm pretty sure I just rewarded him for bad behavior, but oh well, we don't have time for that. Okay, so you keep going with sound stretches. I just won't right now, because I might get him stirred up again even through the door. Okay, wish. Witch. Plant. Hint. Wheel. Heat. Spin. Wind. Winter. Steel. Okay, perfect. A little smiley thumbs up. First round, you are just listening for the Huffy neighbor. Okay, here we go. I. Yep. Ch. I. No. Because remember, those two sounds, you're not going to hear because they've been put together. So ch is a new sound. All right. I know that maybe you're thinking, oh, there's an H in there, but you don't hear the H. You hear ch, not. Okay. All right. Man, I get so many emails when I talk to you. It's crazy. That's what that little ding you hear is. It's emails coming in. All right. Next one. You're listening for d, t, e. H, n, t. Yep. That one had a h at the beginning. H, g. That one had a h at the beginning. All right. Next one. You're listening for the nosy neighbor. W. W. Okay. Apollo's outside the door. He can hear me. Gotta shut. All right. Here we go. W. I. Sh. Yep. W. I. Ch. Yep. P. O. A. N. T. Nope. H. I. N. T. Nope. H. E. O. Now, if you were listening close, that one was hua and not w. So, no to that one. All right, last row. You're listening for either w or h. All right, so we're not going to do any hua. You're just going to listen for w or h. All right, here we go. H, e, t. Yep. Sp, I, n. W, I, n, d. W, I, n, t, er. And st, e, o. Nothing. Okay, perfect. So Dot and Jot today. Get out your sound boxes, and I will get your sounds down here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, perfect. All right. We're just going to keep doing two sounds, okay? And when you or mom gives me the thumbs up that, man, Jett has really got those two sounds down, then we're going to move on to some more threes. I might throw some threes in here randomly, but for now, we're going to get really good at two. Okay, it's kind of like riding a bike. Like you don't pop wheelies when you're first learning to ride a bike. You wait until you can like ride without training wheels, and then you work on wheelies. All right, so we might throw some in sporadically every once in a while, but we're going to work on getting good with two. Okay, remember, fill in the bubbles first and then write the sounds. Okay, you can kind of say them quietly out loud to yourself as many times as you need to. Okay, we're just going to try to work on doing that less and less, but if you need to now, that's fine. All right, here we go. Mm. Can you hear Paul and the squeaky toy? Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Anytime I do something, he has to be right in the middle of it. Okay, next one. P. Next one. W. Next one. W, mm, mm, w, mm. Okay, for that one, you should have had W and NG. Okay, next one. Oh, and also remember that when you do NG, that's one sound. So you color in one box, and N and G go in the same box together because that sound is kind of stuck together. You're not going to take that apart. Okay. W. Next one. Next one. Next one. J. Next one. S. And last one. S. B. Okay, if you want to grab your soundtrack, and you should have got a new soundtrack in your box. Hopefully, it's laminated. I don't know for sure. Okay, we'll start out with two sounds, and then I'll have you set your track back up, and we'll move to three sounds. Remember red, yellow, green, blue, clear. The colors of the rainbow are red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, and violet. You remember them. It's called an acronym. It's ROY G BIV: red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo, violet. And so every time I say the colors, I have to think about Roy G Biv, except ear chips, you're missing some of the colors. Like you don't have indigo and you don't have orange. And so then I have to delete those letters in my head to remember what colors you have. Okay, so red, yellow, green, blue, clear. Perfect. And make sure you set up the pit row that way too. I don't know if we'll need it, but we'll see. All right, here we go. So I want you to bring down, hang on, wait till this card goes by. I want you to bring down, and remember now when you get ready to move them, point to them so you know what's what. Okay, if that says, can you make it say, s? Okay, if that says, s, can you make it say, s, b? If that says, s, b, can you make it say, s? If that says, s, t, can you make it say, j? If that says, j, t, can you make it say, t? Okay. If that says, Can you make it say huh? If that says can you make it say whoop? And if that says whoop, can you make it say whoop? Perfect. Okay, so reset your board back up. Red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green, blue, clear. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to have you bring 3 down. Okay. So I want you to bring down shh. And then I want you to touch those. Shh. Okay, here we go. If that says shh, can you make it shh? Okay. If that says shh, can you make it b shh? Okay. If that says b shh, can you make it w b shh? If that says w b shh, can you make it say g b shh? If that says g b shh, can you make it say h b shh? Last one. If that says h b shh, can you make it say h t shh? Okay, perfect. And remember, on those, I only ever change one sound at a time. So only one chip is changing at a time. Okay, let's move over to dictation. And I want you to get out your little metal holder or tray. I don't know what she sent you, and your little oh, she has a name for them. They're called like spelling chips or something. They like look like little square crystally things. So get those out, and we will do dictation. Okay. Okay. You're ready? Here we go. Now I want you to think about when you're making these, because this is going to be really tricky. Got to remember which way the W goes and which way the M goes. So if at some point you get stuck, remember the way that your mouth is positioned for W. Remember that W is going up. And for M, remember you can see it almost if you drew. Hang on, I'll do it again. Mm. You can see those bumps. If you put a bump right down here in the middle, you'd have an M on your face. All right, here we go. I'm going to over enunciate, like make the sounds that all almost sound goofy, just so you can hear the difference between W and WH. Okay. Normally, I don't say sounds with so much on the end, but I'm going to have to so you know what you're drawing. Okay, you ready? Whoa. Next one. Hoa. Clear it out. Mmm. Clear it out. Mmm. Whoa. Mmm. If you shake it between each one, you can clear it. Whoa. Mmm. Mmm. Okay, let's go one more round. Mmm. Hua. Or well, hua. Mmm. Mmm. Wha. Mmm. Ready for this? I did 2 in a row. Trick job. All right. So, dictation. Mom has fluency drill. I don't know which fluency drill you are up to today. Again, I'm not sure that mine in the book matches yours because you had some extra ones. But if mom wants to do, or even if you don't want to do it today, but she wants to save it, um, you can look for sounds and circle them, or you can do line and loop for a sound that she wants you to look for, or maybe she wants you to look for poppers, or maybe she wants you to look for leakers, or maybe she wants you to look for huffy neighbors or nosy neighbors. That's up to her. Okay, so you will do fluency. You also should still have your fry sight words, and you also should still have some little books, as far as I know. When you start to get low on that stuff, let me know. Little books, probably not so much, but sight words you may get low on here, in a week or two. So let me know about that. Let's review really quickly. Okay, so we've went to our party and we've got the popper and the leaker balloons, and then we didn't invite these neighbors, but these nosy neighbors showed up and they make all these sounds with their noses. And then today at our party, every party seems to have somebody that just is never having a good time and nothing is ever good enough, and they just go around huffing the whole time because they want to be doing something else or going to somewhere else. So today we met our huffy neighbors, and in order to say those huffy neighbor sounds, we have to make that that huff sound. Okay, so we talked about that we have and we have w, and then when we put those two huffy neighbors together, we get wha, wha. Okay, perfect. So and was there anything else I was going to tell you? Um, so just a quick update. I know that I've told you this before, but before Troy kicks me out of his office, I'll take a few more minutes to relax in here. After our Huffy neighbors, next time you are going to meet the liar neighbors. So like people that don't tell the truth, which hopefully there's not very many of the liar neighbors, but there are a couple. We will talk about them. Um, I think they are the hardest. We'll talk about next time why. They're letters you know. I just think they're the hardest to say and maybe to understand why they're liars. Okay. And then once we get done with those, you will have met all of you met all of the characters in the first part of our story, and then we're going to work our way down Vowel Valley, which I think that you are really going to. Well, I'll give you a sneak peek here of Vowel Valley since I have it open to that. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. And also, you might pull out, there was a sheet that I gave you in your supplies. I'm going to have mom pull this out and hopefully, I remember the next time you and I, well, that would be, I'll record a lesson on Wednesday. Um, and we will fill this in together. But mom should have had, I'm going to draw a picture of what it looks like so she can, she can find it. Okay, so she should have had a paper. It's a terrible drawing. Should have had a paper, but it looks something like this. It had a full balloon on one side, and then it had a deflated balloon on the other side, and then it had like I think a house down towards the bottom, and then it may have had like some lines on those things. If you can find that next time, something is walking right outside of the window. Freaks me out. Troy, are you out there? Troy. I don't know what that is walking around out there. Troy. I don't think that's him because I think he's in the living room. Something's creeping outside. Watched too many episodes of Ghost Hunters. Okay, so next time we will pull that little poster out and we will fill it out. It looks like, you know, have that card that you probably, well, no, you probably haven't. You have that you've let your dad use when you've played the games in the card deck so that he knows what the pairs are. We're going to make a poster that looks like that. Seriously, I'm not. I'm going to look out the window. Okay. Seriously, whatever it is, our windows in this house are really high, and so I can't see much out of them. But I'm not kidding. There's something out there. I don't know what it is. Okay, so that is just a little to-do list of what's coming up. It looks beautiful out today, so something tells me you'll be spending some time at the ranch. And it should be a lovely day. So I will see you guys later. If you need anything, let me know.